Okay, so say your name and where you are again.
My name's Mo. I'm from Eastbourne in the south coast of England.
Okay, that's good. All right, this is your first call, and you've done some retreats with Achan Young. Is that it in Thailand?
Yeah, I've done some Goenka retreats. I did Goenka, and then I moved on to Ajahn Tong retreats.
Oh.
So I've done maybe about 5 retreats. Yeah, so Goenka and Ajahn Tong.
Oh, you've done a Goenka retreat also.
I've done, yeah, about 3 retreats. Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that language.
Yeah.
So I'll use it with our talk because basically Goenka teaches Anapanasati very close according to the suttas. He's very good with that. He just doesn't teach enough of it.
Right.
But he does teach it. All right. In fact, that was the reason that I eventually at that time became dissatisfied with Goenka, was because I knew that something was missing.
Okay.
Something was missing. And basically what I found out that, well, yeah, 13 out of 16 steps were missing. That all he was teaching was the first 3 steps of Anapanasati without putting, even though he was mentioning them in other ways, he wasn't specifying exactly what was going on. All right, for instance, never mind, start again is really step 9 of Anapanasati. To experience the mind saying, oh, now I know that the mind has wandered away, as opposed to the fact that it should be watching the breath.
Step 9. Wow. Okay.
Okay, well, now you've gotten the wrong idea about the word step. Okay, so instead of seeing steps like an army,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
See it in the sense of a dance.
Okay.
And we're going to dance all over the place. You're going to dance your night away. So, what we need to look at then with Anapanasati is to see that it's a full practice, and that to do any of Goenka, we're actually practicing quite a lot of the individual steps of Anapanasati, but not all of them. And when we start to practice all of them, let us say, when the mind wanders away from the breath, never mind start again, should have step 9, 13, 10, 5, 6, 7, step 1, 2, and 3. All at the same time, or let us say within a second or two, so that you are beginning to take that deep breath to start again. What are we going to start? That's what we're going to start, is we're going to start bringing in the jhana factors. And when we gather the jhana factors together, then the mind is in a state that's fit for work. And if you practice Anapanasati correctly, it will bring you right into first jhana, which is its intention. And the reason that we want to bring it into first jhana is so that the mind is fit for work, and therefore can do the work of seeing how the mind itself works. Now, seeing how the mind itself works is normally referred to in Pali as paticca samuppada. Have you ever heard of that term before? Dependent origination is often called in English. All right. So correctly practicing Anapanasati is also correctly practicing paticca samuppada. In fact, the only way that you can actually see and work with paticca samuppada correctly is by using Anapanasati to do it.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? So in
Yeah.
fact, everything starts to come together.
Right. Where can I find these 16 Anapanasati steps?
The best place to find them is in the Anapanasati Sutta.
Right. Okay.
That's Sutta number 118 in the Middle Length Sayings, Majjhima Nikaya. Sutta
Right.
Central is the place to find it.
Okay.
So, when we're practicing that never mind, start again, we are actually also practicing the Eightfold Noble Path. And let me explain to you how that works, because this is, in fact, the path. The path that they refer to as the Eightfold Noble Path is actually the path of Anapanasati. And is also the path of Paticca Samuppada, and everything fits together. So this is how that path works. The first thing that we're working with is right view. Right view may not be noble yet, but right view is right view. And right now, our right view is never mind, start again, in the sense of it is better to watch the breath and do the practice than it is to just simply let the mind wander away. This is one of the reasons why S.N. Goenka's system, Goenkaji they call him, is so good, is because it takes away that quality that is found in Western Buddhism so much, that is called choiceless awareness, or begin to become choiceless about what's going on. We're not going to be choiceless at all. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to make some fixes here. We're going to repair the damage. We're not going to leave this farm all falling apart and malfunctioning, and then lie to ourselves that that's okay. We're going to fix this place up. We're going to make it, in Thai language, reapproy.
Right.
Possibly heard that term. Okay. So this is not choiceless awareness, and Goenka's method starts with that. Never mind, start again is built upon right view. The right view is that we can fix this stuff. All right. The next thing that's most importantly now is right sati, right remembering. That's why they call it satipatthana. That's why they call it anapanasati. That's why they call it sama area sati. It's one of the path factors. Eightfold Noble Path is all over the place.
Yeah.
Sati, in fact, is the key to the teachings of the Buddha. Here's an example of why that's true. Go ahead.
Right view, and then you said right sati. I've not heard that in the Eightfold Noble Path. Which one is that?
You have heard of Satipatthana.
Yeah.
You have heard of Anapana, with Goenka is also known as Anapanasati.
Yeah.
And referred to as mindfulness of breathing. And the word mindfulness is normally the English language word that is used for sati.
Okay.
But this is not the correct translation. The correct translation for sati is to remember.
Right. Okay.
Okay, in this sense of remembering is to remember to be here now. And in a way, ultimately, the teaching of the Buddha winds up being satipanya, to remember to take the wise way out, to remember to be wise. So satipanya is kind of the goal that we're going for here, and that the first point in panya is right view. Right view comes first. Next comes right sati, to remember to do the right view. Well, now we're cooking. We know where we're going to go, and we remember to go there. Now, the next one is the tough one, and that is right effort.
Yeah.
Because many students will come in with never mind, start again, they'll see that the mind has wandered away, and then they'll say, darn, monkey mind. Oh, this is so much work. Oh, my meditation is not so good. Oh, maybe I need a teacher. How much is he going to cost? And here we go down that sewer because we're not taking on right effort.
I have a lot of problems, I think, with right effort. Seems to be constantly problems with it. Yeah.
All right, so right effort then needs to be done right at this point of never mind, start again. The starting again correctly is one's right effort. And right effort is required in the sense of not too much effort. This is really a Goldilocks issue. To get it, do you know the Goldilocks issue? This bed's too big, this bed's too hard, this bed's too big, this bed's too small, this bed is just right. This bed is too big, this bed is too small, this bed is just right. This porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold. This porridge is good, just right. That's what we mean by Goldilocks. It comes from an old fairy tale. You could also think of the Goldilocks.
Sorry, it's a really bad connection. Sorry, really bad connection.
Yeah, you're back now. I can tell because the screen froze. Okay, so we were talking about Goldilocks. The Goldilocks is this bed is too big, this bed is too small, this bed is just right. This porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold. And you've frozen again. Now you're back. And this porridge is just right. This whole concept of the Goldilocks is also the Buddha's middle path.
So could you, sorry, I understand.
I can tell our connection is not very good. You've kind of frozen up there. Maybe someone will be so happy to edit this part out of it so that the rest of the people don't have to suffer as much as Skype is suffering right now. Oh, you're back. So we were last talking about the middle path and the Goldilocks portion, finding out just the right effort. So the right effort to put in is just enough to get the job done and not too much. But there's also a quality of right effort. And that quality of right effort is that this is joyful. This is good. Here's what happens when the mind wanders away and the Goenka student says, oh, never mind, mind wandering, start again. Normally what happens with that point is that they have not really changed the state of mind that they are in. But step 10 of Anapanasati is very, very clear in the point that once we experience the mind as having wandered away, we want to gladden the mind. Those meditation students that are looking at the mind from the position of, oh, it's bad news that I caught the mind wandering away.
Yeah.
But it's not bad news. It's actually fantastically good news. Why is that? Because the mind has always wandered away. For 20-something years or more, it's just wandered and wandered and wandered. And now for the first time, you wake up to the fact that it wandered away. This is a miracle. This is wonderful. Finally, you're making progress for the first time. So that's a point of gladdening the mind. And the way that I would say that is, aha, I caught you. The mind has wandered away. Never mind, start again. And that never mind, start again also has the quality of right attitude in the sense that you can do this. You are a lion. You are no longer a victim of the wandering mind.
Okay. You can ask a question. I was just going to say, I understand all this when you're sitting on the cushion and you're doing all this. How does this, how do you do this during the day when you're going about your life?
Exactly the same way, and we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay? But it's exactly the same thing in the sense of if you catch yourself angry, then it's exactly the same situation. Aha! I see you, Mr. Anger. Never mind that anger. Start again. Well, how am I going to start that? Yeah, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to let that anger pass. That's how we do it, is with sati, to remember. To remember over and over and over again. That's what the main number one skill we're developing is the skill of sati. To keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back like you were beating a drum over and over and over again. To keep bringing our mindfulness back again. And we bring it with joy. Because that joy is then going to gladden the mind. It's going to not only gladden the mind, but fairly soon it's going to give us good feelings.
Okay.
And those good feelings are the part that we're beginning to look for in the sense of rapture and sukha. You've heard the words piti and rapture together before. And you've
Yeah.
also heard of the possibility of sukha, which is pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, these are steps of Anapanasati. But the Goenka doesn't talk about them very much, but we need to. And so the next time you call, I'll go into them in great detail. But the idea
Okay.
is that rapture is a feeling of winning, a feeling of success, a feeling of I can do this, self-assurance that's based upon winning, or the feeling of success. And with that success, with that rapture, comes the quality of satisfaction. And that when you develop satisfaction, then you want to maintain that satisfaction, that this is good and I want to keep good. And so now we can maintain watching those thoughts as they come up to make sure that there's no thoughts that are going to take us out of a good space. We're also going to be using the breath. So the breath is actually in the beginning the only object, but we need to move very quickly to recognize, oh no, we're having quite a number of objects here. For a short time, we took joy. For a short time, we took gladdening of the mind. For a short time, we took success. For a short time, we took satisfaction. And so we want to work with all of these qualities and bring them together. And when they are brought together, that's what's called first jhana. When you gather the jhana factors together, and the mind now is sharp, focused, fit for work, and it also knows what job there is to work. And so this is the right way of practicing, and yet most students are struggling because they haven't brought in the joy or the satisfaction yet. And they need that joy and satisfaction before they can make any further progress. So right from the very beginning, the most important thing that you will come to, the most important insight that you will ever have is the insight, I can do this.
Mm.
That's the most important insight because that also eradicates doubt.
Yeah. That's kind of confidence as well, is it? Or
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the right word for it. The Pali word is shraddha, and the word shraddha is often mistranslated into the word faith. But this is not faith. This is confidence based upon success.
okay.
What
I
is the
must.
success? That you can see your mind wander away, you can gladden the mind, you can bring it back, you can get into a state of satisfaction, you can clean out the mind. No matter how obstructed you might think it is, you can clean it out. This is the first knowledge that is noble, supramundane, a factor of the path and not had by ordinary people.
No.
That quality of I can do this.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't have that quality when I'm sitting down. I'm not thinking about that.
All right, well, it's to be developed. That's one's right attitude. Because thinking about I can do this is going to give you really good feelings. The actual feeling of, hey, I can do this. It's almost like a surprise.
That's interesting. Because most of the time when I sit down, I'm not thinking that. I'm just watching the breath and then coming back. I'm doing that bit, but yeah, I've never thought about it like that.
Well, this is the more complete practice of Anapanasati. And it does gather the jhana factors together. If it doesn't, if one practices in a way that's spotty, shipshod, doesn't have the factors to it, then when they do come to first jhana, it's a surprise to them rather than an actual practice. And so they don't know how they got there and they don't know how to maintain it. And maintaining it is as important as getting into it. And so the way to maintain it is to make sure that unwholesome thoughts that are normally in the mind are not allowed into the mind. Thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, thoughts about work that needs to be done, thoughts of doubt about is this the right practice or not. Oh no, because you're in a state of complete satisfaction. You're not worried about is this the right path or not. You're satisfied with it right now. And that satisfaction is what builds the confidence. And so this is the development that needs to be done also, is the development, the skill of satisfaction, the skill of the attitude of feeling like a winner. And so you can see, in fact, the path factors that we've talked about so far of right view, right sati, right effort, and right attitude are actually built right there into the path of Anapanasati. That right attitude is the attitude of a lion, the attitude of a winner, the attitude of success, not being victim to our thoughts and feelings anymore. Never mind, start again.
I must admit, yeah, I don't think I feel confident that I'm ever going to kind of enlightened or anything like that. It's probably not the right way to look at it, though, is it?
Right, because you're off into the future. That's very Western thinking again.
Yeah, yeah.
You will never have anything ever other than when you have it right now. You live from one moment of now to the next moment of now. If you're going to be enlightened ever, it has to be always right now. So why wait?
Sorry.
Why wait?
Yeah. Okay.
Everything that you need to do, you can do right now. This is not a progression. Remember that point about walking across the cow path?
Yeah.
About across the pasture? Enlightenment is seeing the cow path right in front of you and stepping aside. And that's enlightened. And you can stay enlightened all the way across that cow pasture, or you can forget to watch where you're going and wind up deep in shit. So enlightened is not getting all the way across the cow pasture free of stepping in cow pies. Enlightenment is just not stepping in this cow pie right in front of you. Forget about the future. That's one of the major teachings of the Buddha is don't dwell in the future. Don't dwell in the past. Let's do what we need to do right now.
how just to sorry, deviate away again. Just a quick question: what are your thoughts on like the climate change in terms of from like a, you know, you're saying you be here now kind of thing, but then there's this whole problem with the climate change and how we need to think about the future, and maybe we should be worrying more about that. What are your
Okay.
thoughts?
If you worry more, will that make it hotter?
No, no, I guess not.
Will it
Yeah,
make it colder if you worry about it?
but should you be thinking about steps, you know, towards helping the climate?
No, but you can think about not having to go anywhere to take a truck. If you start practicing the Dhamma, your energy footprint will become very small. Don't think about big things, think about small things. Think about how you can get your own mind really cleaned out so that you have a very small footprint. The guy who needs to think about the things that you're talking about is the guy who's driving around in a really huge automobile and worse than that, flies around in his own jet. That guy's the one who needs to start thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
But what does he need to do? He needs to think about his own lifestyle rather than thinking about global warming. If everyone cleaned up their own lifestyle, there would have never been a global warming issue in the first place.
yeah,
So you do your part. Absolutely.
yeah, sure. I'm just
How,
one now though that maybe it's got to such a stage that you just sitting down and meditating is not going to help. That there needs to be
no,
more kind of.
no, but here's the question is, can you be happy on a hot day?
Can I be happy on a hot day? I not sure what. I don't know. Depends where you are, I suppose. Not sure
Well,
what you mean by
can
that. I know.
can you be happy in the day that you have today? Is this day a happy day?
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. But you mean like being in the moment?
Right now, right. Is this a
Yeah,
happy moment for you? Okay, if the temperature went up, can you maintain your happiness if it went up 1 degree?
yeah. I think so.
Could you
Yeah.
maintain your state of satisfaction and goodwill and cheer if it goes up 3 degrees? How about 5? And as it's going up, your skill for being able to manage heat was going up too. Again, people worrying about the future of, like with climate change, they're just burning their own mental juice that they don't need to. They're actually adding to the global warming with all of their brain heat.
Okay. Thank you.
I would recommend everyone withdraw from the world. We will not have any problems with warming climates if the CEO of Exxon quit
Yeah.
his job and came to sit on my porch here and left the job to someone who was also planning to quit that job and come sit on my porch, then Exxon would have some changes.
That would be great. I'd love to see that.
Write him a letter, invite him over. That's the Dhamma is spread one individual at a time.
Yeah.
Working on big projects means big suffering. Becoming part of an organization means that when that organization has good, we feel good, and when that organization has bad, we feel bad. We become that organization. I am that, in this case, Democrat Party, or I am the Republican Party. So every time that the Republican Party has something bad happen to it, I feel bad. Why? Because I am the Republican Party in my own mind. So right now, you're
Okay.
just, I am climate change.
Yeah.
And when you stop identifying with climate change, then you can come back and be a human being that can sit and be happy when the day gets hot.
Yeah, no, I asked because a close friend of mine is kind of, really into it, and I was just curious, really, how it fits in with Dharma. I can see what you mean by.
You mean that he's got a job someplace doing climate change work?
He has, yeah, he's kind of changed his whole lifestyle because of climate change. He's got a job working in the forest, and he's really like his whole attitude is, he's become a vegan, and he's very pro activist kind of, wants everyone to.
Is
I'm
he
just curious.
happy and satisfied? Is he happy and satisfied yet?
I think for him, like a lot of people, he's got a goal that makes him happy. I think a lot of people need goals, don't they? For some reason.
No, we need to give up goals.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I'm just trying to say for normal,
for
most
ordinary,
folk,
right? For most folks, they want goals.
Yeah,
because the here now is not satisfying for them.
Yeah.
So even though he's done all of that stuff, he's still not completely satisfied and still has goals.
Yeah, but at the same time,
so
the
here's
goals
the
give
question:
them.
Can you be happy now without going and doing all the things that he has done?
Sorry, say that again.
Can you sit here and be happy and have a good Dhamma talk and be happy with the Dhamma without going and doing all the things that he's done, and he's still dissatisfied, and he still sets goals? Can you be happy and satisfied without doing that stuff, is my question.
Yeah, I think I can, but I'm just curious, because he's a close friend of mine, I'm just curious, the stance. I mean,
then help him to become happy. If he's not completely happy and satisfied with all of that work that he's doing, in other words, if he's a vegan and he wants other people to be vegan, then he's not satisfied with himself being vegan. How can he become satisfied that he's vegan all by himself? He could be happy as a vegan without wanting other people to be a vegan too. Especially since vegan didn't make him happy.
Yeah, I don't think he's really unhappy, I think he's okay. But yeah, it was just a question. I'm not gonna force him to do anything. I just,
I'm not asking you to force him to anything. I'm asking you to joke with him and smile and be happy.
Yeah.
Be friends with him, but you don't have to go down his path for you to be happy.
No, I don't. I don't go down his path. As I say, I was just curious. But thank you for the answer.
That's an important thing for you to figure out. What is it that's going to make you happy?
Yeah, I think I've got a lot of things off the cushion that I need to sort out in my life. I think, I don't know, but maybe I don't. Maybe, they're not a problem, really. Maybe I'm just making it a problem.
Yes, that may be true.
Because actually, I have everything I need. I have food, I have shelter, I have, I don't really need anything else. Sometimes I worry about.
Got adequate clothing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But there's little things that I worry about, like I haven't had. This is quite personal stuff that I'm saying now. Maybe I don't really want to say it because it's going to go out on the internet.
It doesn't matter, because whatever you're worrying about, what it is that you're worrying about is not the issue. The issue is the habit of worrying, and the habit of worrying is so strong that even when there is nothing to worry about, we'll find something to worry about.
Yeah.
We'll manufacture things to worry about because we're in the habit of worrying. So one of the things you can begin to do is to catch yourself worrying. Aha, I see you, Mr. Worry.
Connection. Sorry, say that again, the last bit.
I said, what you could be useful for you then is to see the worry itself rather than the object of the worry. Instead of worrying about fixing the car, begin to worry about the worry. Look at me worry. Then you can say, aha, I see you, Mr. Worry. Just like never mind, start again with Goenka. I can see you, Mr. Worry. I can see you, Mr. Anxiety. Whatever it is, you can come out of it and come back to a state of happiness and joy.
Yeah.
But that's your first job to do, is to get yourself into a state of satisfaction and joy. Once you're satisfied, which is a major point of the first jhana, is to be in a state of satisfaction that's good enough that you want to keep it. You want to maintain that state of satisfaction. So start working on that. How can you get yourself into a state of satisfaction? I know one monk recommends thinking about puppies.
Yeah, sure. Okay. You kind of.
But you can remember times when you felt really good, and you can remember those times. You can remember when there was a really big high. One of the examples that I use is there was a time when I was all-state band, first chair tuba. I was basically the best tuba player in the whole state of South Carolina, and boy, did I feel good. That is until I went to the first rehearsal and figured out that I've got 4 competitors here. If I had not won that chair, they would not be competing with me.
Yeah.
But it felt good for a while. It felt really, really wonderful for a while.
So do you use that feeling?
So yourself? I use that feeling, right? And So you find something that makes you feel really, really good and use that as a training tool. Use that as a dumbbell. The very best feeling that you ever had, use that as a dumbbell and train and train and train and train and train. So you can pick up that very best feeling you ever had like it was that.
Okay.
And this is all part of Anapanasati, and that's actually part of the practice that is built into all of the teachings of the Buddha. That the only way that you're going to get out of dukkha is to put yourself into a state of sukha. The only way that you're going to stop being dissatisfied is by becoming satisfied. Duh. So let's practice that. Rather than hoping if you do enough meditation hours, finally it'll just happen to you all by itself, as if the big common machine in the sky says, okay, he's put in 103 hours. Let's go bop him with some good feeling or so.
Yeah.
And that's actually quite a problem, because when people do get into first jhana or do have sensations or feelings, experiences or whatever, and they weren't manufactured and intentionally watched and saw how you got into them and saw what was there and had a good understanding of what was going on. Instead, there's ignorance built into it because they don't know how they got into it. It just happened. Now they're going to bring magic. An example would be a Christian would say, oh, I was in the presence of God. No, you weren't. You were just in the presence of good feelings. Get over it.
Okay.
And in fact, not just get over it. If that's what you call it, then call it that. Go back into the presence of God and stay there. Become satisfied. If that's your point of satisfaction, call it anything you want to. Just stay in that state of satisfaction.
Yeah, we're talking about jhanas. We're talking about jhanas. I think sometimes, yeah, I mean, there's often times when I'm sitting and I feel very pleasant and there's pleasant feelings, but I'm never quite sure if I'm in first jhana or second or.
Yeah, so Stop wondering. That's doubt. That doubt and wondering where you are has just pulled you out of it. So you have to wonder about what state you were in rather than wondering what state you are in, because the wondering itself has pulled you out.
Oh. Yeah, no, I think that as well. As I'm sitting there and I'm feeling all these nice things, I think one day, and then I'm thinking, now, and then it's gone. Yeah.
So once you get into that state, you have that instantaneous yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, here we are, we've got it. And now you're going to hang on to it. So any thought that arises that pulls you out of that state, you're going to ignore that thought, push it back out. Oh, no, I like this better. If anxiety comes, you can say, oh, no, I would rather be in this state than be full of anxiety. So let me maintain this. And I'm going to start paying attention more and more and more to feeling good, more and more and more into experiencing this present moment, here and now. And doing so, I think we've lost our internet connection again.
The connection is really bad.
I know.
I'm
so
sorry.
what I was saying, maybe next time it will be better. Yeah, actually, it's quite good here. There's no problem.
Yeah, I think it's probably my end. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Shall we call it the day for the moment? Is that okay?
No, not as long as you've got such a scowl of confusion on your face. Now we can cut the call off.
Otherwise, we could go on all day.
Well, let us save some for next time. You're breaking up. Can you say it again?
I said, yeah. I know you've probably been doing this all day as well, so maybe we'll.
Well, that's because I like it. I do what I like. And it's good to meet you. I'm really glad to have you as a friend, Mo. Call back and we'll continue on with Anapanasati.
Oh, thank you.
You've got the basic point, sati. You've got basic point number 2, joy. You start working with them.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.